apology was for him. It wasn't. So you're gonna see it. I can't even think about that with my mind being blown. You're gonna see it. It's going to shock you. The whole apology, all of the apologies, yeah. All of it. I watched a little bit for the tell-all, like these little clips, and I was like, you did what? You said what? What? It was all for him. It was his apology. He needed to hear it more than anybody. He had his agenda that he needed to do. When he fixes his relationship with his kids, that's when I'll accept the apology.
Christine Brown isn't holding back anymore. In a fiery moment that has fans buzzing, she ripped into Kody Brown's so-called apology tour, exposing it as nothing more than a desperate act to save face, all while sharp-eyed viewers claim he's already on the prowl for new wives. The drama has exploded, and it might just be the most shocking twist Sister Wives fans have ever seen. When it comes to the Brown family, no story ever truly ends. Every chapter in their complex lives seems to open the door to yet another storm of drama, emotion, and controversy. The latest whirlwind centers on Christine Brown, who has emerged once again as the unflinching voice of truth against her ex-husband Kody Brown. In an explosive moment that is still reverberating across social media and Sister Wives fan circles, Christine openly slammed Kody's so-called apology tour, calling it fake, hollow, and self-serving. What made the situation even more scandalous was the timing, as fans believe Kody is simultaneously on the hunt for new wives to fill the gaping holes left by the collapse of his polygamous empire. The juxtaposition of Kody's highly public apologies and whispers of his secretive quest to expand his family has sparked outrage, fascination, and a renewed sense of betrayal for viewers who have followed the Browns for over a decade. Christine's condemnation wasn't subtle. She spoke with the kind of conviction and clarity that only comes from years of being silenced and overlooked in a relationship. The woman who once quietly endured emotional neglect and loneliness is now unapologetically calling out the man who insisted on controlling the narrative of their lives. Kody's apology tour, which some believed was an attempt to mend fences with his estranged wives and children, has been dismissed by Christine as nothing more than a performative stunt. In her view, there was no real remorse behind his carefully chosen words, no sincere recognition of the damage he inflicted on his family. Instead, Christine sees his actions as yet another manipulation designed to preserve his image at a time when he has lost the respect of nearly everyone closest to him. What makes this unfolding saga all the more dramatic is the chatter surrounding Kody's alleged search for new wives. For a man who spent much of the last few seasons of Sister Wives lamenting the pain of broken marriages and fractured family ties, the idea that he is now actively looking to replace Christine, Janelle, and Mary with new partners is viewed by many as a shocking contradiction. Fans online have expressed disgust at the thought, accusing Kody of being incapable of introspection and too eager to find new women to validate his authority. To them, his apology tour isn't about healing the family he once had, but rather about paving the way for a new chapter that still places him at the center of attention and control. Christine, who has rebuilt her life with strength and authenticity, could not be more different in her trajectory. While Kody is accused of clinging to power and image, Christine has embraced her freedom and found love again with David Woolley. Her life now is marked by joy, independence, and the fulfillment she was denied during her years with Kody. This contrast has not gone unnoticed by Sister Wives fans, who view Christine as the ultimate symbol of resilience while casting Kody as a man whose priorities remain skewed. When Christine publicly denounced Kody's apologies as fake, she solidified herself once again as the woman who refuses to let her ex rewrite history. The fan response has been electric. Social media platforms erupted with commentary, with many praising Christine for saying out loud what they've suspected all along. Viewers have long debated whether Kody's remorseful words carried any real weight, and Christine's blunt takedown seemed to validate the skepticism that has grown with each season. Memes, TikToks, and lengthy discussion threads flooded the internet with phrases like fake apology tour quickly becoming shorthand for Kody's attempts at redemption. For fans, this wasn't just about Christine and Kody's personal dynamic. It was about the broader themes of accountability, manipulation, and the dynamics of power within polygamy. Kody's image has always been polarizing, but the current moment may be one of the lowest points in his public perception. The idea of him searching for new wives has been especially incendiary, given that his existing marriages crumbled under accusations of favoritism, neglect, and authoritarian behavior. If he is indeed courting potential new wives, it raises uncomfortable questions about whether he has learned anything from the past or if he is doomed to repeat the same patterns. For fans who invested years into the Brown family's story, watching Kody seemingly pivot from broken promises to new pursuits feels like betrayal layered upon betrayal. Christine's role in all this cannot be overstated. From the moment she walked away from her marriage to Kody, she has been outspoken in ways that once seemed unimaginable. Her interviews, social media posts, and candid reflections have given fans a behind-the-curtain look at the emotional toll of being married to Kody. Her recent remarks about his apology tour further peel back the mask, showing the world how little has changed in his behavior. The more Christine speaks out, the more her credibility rises, and the more Kody's attempts at redemption fall flat. Fans see her as the narrator of truth, unafraid to challenge the man who once controlled the family's narrative. The heart of this story lies the stark contrast between performance and authenticity. Christine's words are viewed as raw and real, the product of lived experience and hard-won freedom. Kody's apologies, by contrast, are viewed as rehearsed, calculated, and self-serving. When fans discovered that he might be simultaneously seeking new wives, the dissonance between his actions and words became impossible to ignore. Painted a picture of a man more interested in maintaining the structure of polygamy than in healing the broken bonds of his fractured family. The drama unfolding here is more than just tabloid fodder. Touches on themes that have resonated deeply with Sister Wives viewers for years: the sacrifices women make in polygamous marriages, the way power dynamics can distort relationships, and the resilience it takes to walk away from toxic situations. Christine's boldness serves as a beacon for anyone who has felt trapped in silence, while Kody's actions serve as a cautionary tale of what happens when ego outweighs empathy. And yet, the story is far from over. With Sister Wives continuing to capture headlines and the Browns remaining under the spotlight, every word Christine utters and every move Kody makes will be dissected by fans and critics alike. The notion that Kody is searching for new wives adds fuel to the speculation of what the next chapter of the show, and their lives, will look like. Will Christine's unapologetic honesty continue to shine a light on his contradictions? When it comes to the world of reality television, few family sagas have gripped audiences quite like the turbulent story of Kody Brown and his plural marriage featured on Sister Wives. Over the years, the show has documented triumphs, heartbreaks, and seismic shifts in the Brown household, but the latest revelations have pushed the narrative into uncharted territory. Christine Brown, once the dutiful third wife in Kody's polygamous marriage, has stepped forward with her boldest statement yet. She claims Kody's recent apology tour is nothing more than a scam. And as if that were not explosive enough, Christine's remarks come at a time when fans are convinced Kody is secretly engaged in a shocking hunt for new wives. Together, these accusations have ignited a firestorm that has left viewers reeling, dissecting every word and gesture and speculating about what comes next for a family whose lives have become both a cautionary tale and a cultural obsession. Christine's voice carries a weight that resonates far beyond the scripted beats of a reality TV show. For years, viewers watched as she endured a marriage riddled with imbalance, emotional neglect, and visible loneliness. She raised her children largely without the emotional presence of the man who promised to be her partner, while simultaneously watching him pour his time and attention into Robin, the youngest wife, who many fans believe became the favored partner from the moment she entered the family. When Christine finally found the courage to leave Kody, she didn't just walk away from a broken marriage. She walked away from an entire belief system that had defined her adult life. In doing so, she became a symbol of resilience and independence. Now, as she publicly dismantles the facade of Kody's apology tour, Christine is once again positioning herself as the unflinching truth-teller in a story Kody has long tried to control. The so-called apology tour has been a point of intrigue for fans since it began. Kody appeared in interviews and episodes of Sister Wives, attempting to present himself as a man humbled by his mistakes, eager to mend fences with his estranged wives and fractured children. He offered emotional statements about regret and accountability, painting himself as someone who wanted to rebuild connections. Yet Christine's cutting words have thrown all of that into question. She insists that Kody's apologies are not rooted in genuine remorse but in a desire to protect his public image. To her, his carefully worded statements and public displays of contrition are a performance, a scam designed to convince fans and perhaps even future partners that he is capable of change, while in reality, he remains the same controlling, self-centered man she walked away from. Christine's exposure of this apology tour scam struck a chord with longtime viewers who have grown increasingly skeptical of Kody's sincerity. Many fans had already voiced doubts, noting how often his apologies seemed to come with caveats, excuses, or blame placed back on the women who left him. Pattern of behavior, promising reflection but delivering little actual change, has been dissected on fan forums, social media platforms, and recap podcasts. Christine's bold declaration provided the validation many were seeking. She wasn't just hinting at insincerity, she was outright calling it out for what it was, stripping away the veneer of humility Kody had tried to present. As if Christine's accusation wasn't damning enough, whispers about Kody's alleged hunt for new wives have only deepened the controversy. Fans believe that behind the curtain of his apology tour, Kody has been quietly seeking to bring new women into his life. For a man whose polygamous dream has largely collapsed, with Christine gone, Janelle estranged, and Mary distancing herself, the idea of recruiting new wives seems both audacious and desperate. Social media sleuths have pointed to suspicious sightings, cryptic comments, and even the way Kody has spoken about his commitment to the principle of plural marriage as evidence that he is positioning himself for a fresh start with new partners. The notion that Kody is searching for replacements so soon after the implosion of his marriages has sparked outrage among viewers. Many see it as proof that he values the structure of polygamy and the power it gives him over the well-being of the women in his life. Instead of focusing on repairing the relationships with his children or reckoning with the pain he caused, he is accused of seeking to restore his lost status by adding new wives to his orbit. This suspicion only reinforces Christine's claims that his apologies are hollow. After all, how can a man truly be remorseful if he is simultaneously preparing to repeat the same patterns of behavior with new women? Christine's willingness to speak so candidly about Kody's alleged deception has drawn admiration from fans who see her as brave enough to stand in direct opposition to the man who once dominated the narrative. Her evolution from the yes wife who smiled through tears to the unapologetically free woman who calls out manipulation is one of the most dramatic arcs in reality television history. And her words cut through the noise in a way few others can. Unlike fans speculating online, Christine lived the experience. She knows firsthand the difference between genuine accountability and manipulative theatrics. By exposing Kody's apology tour as a scam, she is not just commenting on his behavior, she is offering a testimony rooted in lived reality. The fan response has been swift and emotional. On Twitter, Reddit, and Facebook groups dedicated to sister wives, thousands of posts emerged in the wake of Christine's statements. Viewers praised her courage, with some calling her the truth speaker of the Brown family. Others expressed disgust at Kody's alleged hunt for new wives, describing it as a betrayal not only of his past partners but of the very values he claims to uphold. Memes mocking the apology tour flooded timelines, with many juxtaposing Kody's somber public statements against screenshots of Christine smiling in her new life with David Woolley. Contrast was stark. Christine radiates joy and authenticity, while Kody appears increasingly hollow and performative. The juxtaposition of Christine's thriving independence and Kody's alleged desperation to rebuild his plural household has created a narrative fans cannot look away from. Christine has remarried, found happiness, and embraced her individuality after years of being sidelined. Kody, meanwhile, seems to be clinging to the remnants of an identity that no longer fits, seeking validation through apologies many deem fake, and through the pursuit of women who may or may not be willing to enter a polygamous arrangement in a modern world where such commitments are rare. The spectacle has become a morality play of sorts, a story about authenticity versus artifice, freedom versus control, and growth versus stagnation. From a broader cultural perspective, this unfolding drama touches on themes that extend far beyond the Brown family. It raises questions about how public figures attempt to rehabilitate their images after damaging revelations, and how audiences discern between genuine change and performative gestures. In Kody's case, the suspicion that his apology tour is a scam underscores the skepticism many people now bring to public displays of contrition. In a world where image management often trumps accountability, Christine's voice is a reminder that those closest to the truth can dismantle even the most carefully constructed performances. The alleged hunt for new wives adds another layer to the conversation, particularly as it intersects with debates about polygamy itself. For years, sister wives presented the lifestyle as an alternative family structure rooted in faith, love, and commitment. But as the show progressed, cracks began to appear. Jealousy, favoritism, and power imbalances undermined the utopian vision the Browns once promoted. Now, with Kody potentially seeking to bring new women into his fractured household, viewers are forced to confront the question, is this about faith or is it about ego? Christine's perspective suggests it is the latter, that Kody is less interested in spiritual principles than in maintaining control and image. The irony of it all is striking. Kody, the man who once dreamed of a sprawling plural family united under his leadership, is now left with only Robyn by his side, while his other wives have forged paths of independence. Christine's exposure of his apology tour scam is not just a personal indictment, it is a symbolic unraveling of the narrative he tried to spin for over a decade. Fans who once tuned in to see the experiment of polygamy now watch to see how the facade continues to crumble, and Christine's unflinching honesty ensures that the truth will not be buried. As the story continues to develop, one thing is clear. Christine has claimed the power of her own voice, and Kody's attempts to reshape the narrative are faltering under the weight of her revelations. The more she exposes, the more fans rally to her side, and the less plausible Kody's public performances become. The apology tour scam has been laid bare, and the alleged new wife hunt only cements the perception of a man out of touch with reality and unwilling to face the consequences of his actions. The Brown family's saga has always been about more than just television. It is about faith, family, identity, and the human struggle to reconcile personal desires with communal commitments. But in this latest chapter, it has become a story of truth versus illusion, with Christine standing firmly on the side of truth. Her words have resonated not just because they expose Kody, but because they affirm the experiences of countless viewers who have seen similar dynamics play out in their own lives. That is the power of reality television at its best. It takes the specific and makes it universal, turning one family's drama into a mirror for society at large. In the end, Christine's bold exposure of Kody's apology tour scam and the revelation of his shocking new wife hunt may well be remembered as a turning point in the saga of sister wives. It is a moment when the truth shattered the illusion, when authenticity triumphed over performance, and when the woman who once lived in the shadows stepped into the light as the voice that could no longer be silenced. The fallout from these revelations will continue to ripple through fan communities, media coverage, and perhaps even future seasons of the show. But for now, one thing is certain. Christine's no-nonsense honesty has changed the conversation forever, and Kody Brown will never again be able to hide behind the carefully crafted mask of his so-called apology tour.